Hello everyone, it is the Trading DOS. I might sound a bit different. I've got a different microphone. I'm not in my normal setup, but hopefully it's still okay. So this is going to be a Trading Simplified video, and I'm going to go over the volume profile, predominantly the fixed range volume profile, as this is what I mainly use. This is mainly going over my personal trading strategy and what I use, but I am also going to go over the session profile volume and the periodic volume profile, which is used to make naked pointer controls, but I'm going to go over that later on. So the first part is the fixed range volume profile. So I'm just going to draw it quite randomly on here. That's not really, there we go, that'll do. And what it basically tells you is the volume of this range. So you normally have you show your volume here, and this shows you it a bit differently, and for a fixed volume range rather than a whole area, the whole part. So I'm going to tell you basically, you've got yours will look a bit different. My settings are slightly different. Mine's row size at 200, so I get a few more rows in here. And I also have the value area high, the value area low, and the POC, or the point of control, that are on there that I'll go over in a bit more detail later on. And you can copy these if you would like. And I've changed my colours a little bit, but it's not really a big deal. So the point of control is this middle bit here, and this is the area that's got the most traded volume in the selected range. And then you've also got your value area high and your value area low, and these normally they normally are used as support and resistance zones, or areas or levels, whatever you want to call it, and they can be traded off if you use some sort of confluence, for example a fib level or something like that. And this is your value area here, hence the high and low. This is your value area high, value area here, and this is your other outside of the area. And this is where the majority of the volume is traded, is within this area. As you can see, most of it is here rather than up there. And you can see that the volume in these areas, you have these little divots here, and this is normally where price can move quite fast through them. Usually, not always the case, as you can see here. For example, here we just peeked up into it and went back down. You can sometimes get reversals in there, but I don't trade like that, as I've not got a very good record with doing that when back testing it. But these high volume nodes can be traded, but again, I don't really do that. I mainly focus on these levels that are shown here, and you can draw this on any really area, but obviously it makes sense to do it in the ranges. So you can do smaller ranges like the smaller time frames, or you can go up to the higher time frames and larger range. So for example, if you wanted to select the whole upper range that we've been trading at for quite a while, you can see that we normally get a reaction towards the bottom, and we can also see we get a reaction sometimes from the middle. But like we said, it's confluencing. Even here you can see it, rather than just solely trading off of this, as most trading is. You always want to confluence levels with other levels, and they're going to be stronger. So that is the main point about that. I'm going to be quite brief about it, and try and get this video as quick as possible. So that's the main part of this. Another thing that I like to do is, when I've got an area, I like to put the do the value area high, and then do the POC. Where are we? There we go. And I can mark that value area low, and then I normally put this into a specific folder where it says hold, or define what range it is, and then I can have it always on my chart, or I can quickly hide it if I don't need it and use it like that. Now we're going to go over the session volume profile first. So this looks a bit of a mess at the moment and a bit crazy because of some of the settings that I've got on here, but it's very similar, apart from on this one I've chosen to extend the POC right, and I'll go into that a bit more in a second. So what this does is it shows you the day, it automatically draws this fixed range volume profile, but on the day. Each day is like is put in one of these, and this is a premium feature. So if you don't have premium TradingView, then you might just have to use the fixed range volume profile and draw it manually. But the reason why these have extended out is they can be used for future kind of support and resistance areas. See if I can find an example. Oh yeah, right here. So as you can see, this range here is from a day, well, from like 3 days ago. But it still reacted from this zone, and after that it stopped extending, so it'll only keep ones that are, you know, not been hit yet. And this is useful for extra confluence and support and things like that, or resistance. And you can see that we've got quite a few of them, and it's very similar to what I'm going to go over with the periodic volume profile, but that's going to be slightly different in the way that you don't have all these spanning everywhere, and you can get weekly and monthly ones, etc. But I'll go into that. So this is quite useful to use it to get a few more different support areas, and also you can trade off these. So we've got a reaction here, we've got a reaction here, and then you've got, you know, they're very good for support and resistance. So that is pretty much everything on there. You can mess around with your settings and back test it and trade it how you want to, but this is how I choose to do it. And then you got this one, which you need to go into daily for, and this will also look a bit weird. So each one of these lines is a daily naked point of control, which I also like to mark and do daily naked point of control, and I keep these in a folder on my main chart. And these also disappear when they've been tagged. And usually, if there's confluence in things, this acts as a support, so, or resistance. So in this example, you can see it hits this area, and we see a big dump down, or we didn't actually see, we sort of dumped down to here. And then the same thing for the weekly, because this pulls the POC of the candle. You can see it for the weekly. We've got one all the way down here and one all the way up here, and then a monthly we've probably not got any. I've got one that's coming from this current monthly candle, so I wouldn't really use that until this monthly close. We get this monthly close, but there's a few down here, for example. And these are just things that I mark on my chart, and I use them as different levels, and I use them in confluence with my fib levels, or my weekly resistance, daily resistance, any sort of resistance levels. I use them in confluence, and then I look for some bullish and bearish divergences. But that is not what I'm going to go into in this video. And that is pretty much everything that that I think is super important, and you know, the main points for this. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you haven't got an exchange, or you're looking for a new exchange, maybe look at getting BitGet. BitGet is an extremely good exchange. I do use it very, very often, and use my link down below in the description. It'll help me out, and it'll help you out. You get some good rewards on there. Anyhow, if you haven't watched the other episodes, make sure to watch them, of Trading Simplified and my most recent video. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.